Good morning. Hopefully I've got some folks coming on. I am late, but for no other good reason than I was eating some not M&Ms, chocolate chips today. Some chocolate chips. Hit the thumbs up button if you're watching a little later. We got some pre-market movers here. This is, if you guys don't know, this is the site that I go to look for pre-market movers, and I will send it out in the chat. Morning, James. You can see Sherry's favorite, Faraday, is moving quite a bit. 24%. Seiko Holdings up 90%. Soundhound, which one person brought up on Friday, is up 25%. This is an AI play. Crazy. We're back in 2019. This is, if you guys weren't around, and I know I'm just probably talking to James only, but if you weren't around and trading in 2019, essentially what happened was, I have to get to my notes. There we go. In 2018, rates went up. They tried to raise rates and blah, 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 Janet Yellen. It just didn't go well. And then, I'll look at VRTV. Let me go to VRTV. I've been looking at Versus to see if it gets to 3, but because I want to think that Sherry was right, but wow, that is a good one. Let's look at this long-term view. By the way, if you haven't watched it, this is TrendSpider that I'm using, and I put up an hour-long video of myself and David Yoakum from TrendSpider looking, and there's an algorithm, by the way, in there that we've done, which is a day trading algorithm, which performs really, really well. Significantly well. In fact, let's look at this VRTV. It's on a 65-minute candle. And this one, I am going to go short. Let's just go to chart. Let's just say on this chart. Okay, we'll go, you know what? We'll pull this all the way back to January 1st. Okay? So just... what is it? VRTV here. This is a 65-minute candle. And that's not including this one right here, by the way. This one right here is going to blow it out of the water. But prior, well, I guess it does include that one. Right now, if you would have bought here at 121 and you're at 140, you're feeling pretty good. Nah, hold on. I got to get the dog. I'll get your bed. Hold on. I'll get your bed. I love you. I know you want to stay in here. Get your bed. Okay. Here I come. Here I come. Here's your bed. There you go. You want to go under? Okay. Now, do not yell at me when she's under there. You're a good girl. I love you. Okay. You can go in there. Go on. You want to go in? Okay. No? You'll sit on top. Do not lay on top of her. Do not smother her. Okay. But here, so sorry. This is VRTV. So if you bought here and you sell out here, it's 15%. If you take our algorithm, which is short on a 65-minute candle, and buy under the 8 EMA and sell over the 8 EMA, which I don't show on this chart, but the algorithm's looking at it. It gets you in all the time. You have some losses, but your gains are significant. You'd make 32% versus just buy and hold is 15%. Yeah. Even if we, Apple, which since the beginning of the year, we'll pull this to January 1st. Apple, just beginning of the year. If you would have bought here, how does that work? It's more than 4%. Hold on, I gotta blow my nose. Morning, Justin. Okay, we got to do some scans. Today, Devon looks up, J&J looks up, Meta is up. Got Oxy's up, Pepsi's up, Pfizer's up, QCLN is up, Tesla is up, and Exxon's up. It's a semi-ugly day, but let's get to scanning because your boy has to go out and walk. Nothing in the core portfolio broke up. Let's look about my brokerage holdings. Nothing there. Energy names. Anything here? Nothing in the energy names. Levered ETFs. SDOW. Let's look at that. Scans. We'll look at Boyle and KOLD. UCO and SCO. And 65 minutes, interesting. This is an ultra short Dow 30. And it crossed down. Here. Let's look at our day trading on SDOW. Are you in or out? It's kind of been fluttering here. You're in at 25.31. And it's trading at 25.21 right now. Interesting. Oh, the date's wrong. I don't think I can change it. Should I restart it? Let me see if I can change it. I can change it afterwards. Let me see if I can change it. Let me see if I can change it while it's going on. You guys get to look at the magic. YouTube Studio. Content. Live. I guess I gotta change it afterwards. Or no, I guess I can change it here. 2.6. Changes saved. Let's see what happens. There we go. I guess I can change it live. Oh, well. I got 6 likes, and there's 13 people in here. So hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. This SDOW, it's interesting because we don't want 7,000 candles. Let's go just the chart. So this is what's interesting. So since January 5th, if you would have used the 65-minute candles, you'd make 3.2% on this short Dow. Again, it's short Dow. So you'd make 3.2% because you've missed out on this kind of drop. You got in on this gain. You missed out on this drop, and you got in on this gain, blah, blah, blah. But this S Dow makes you 3%. And that's, let's see, 27 positions on the chart for some reason. I don't know. 33% wins. Your average win is 2.51%, but you make 3%. If you would have just bought and held, you'd be down 1.83%. So, yeah, crazy. But S Dow is one. That's on our triple levered. That's on all our leveraged ETFs. Let's see, low cost Vanguard. By the way, there's a great podcast. I need to post. I'm going to post in the private Facebook group. If you're not part of it, I'm going to post. But I'll post in the private Facebook group. I listened to a great We Study Billionaires, I think it was, episode on Spotify. And if you didn't see in the private Facebook group, I finished the week yesterday with 56 miles. And I haven't lost 1 pound, just so you guys are aware of how much I'm actually eating. But essentially the guy goes through the Spanish flu pandemic and how the economy rebounded from that, which was super, super interesting because he likened it to 2022 was the fall down past the we had an initial uptrend after the pandemic. Then we had an initial downturn, which was the recession of the 20s. And then you had the boom after World War I. And he said 2023 might be that. So it was an interesting interview that I think you guys might like listening to. Yeah, John, you're the one I was talking about. I was on this, and I saw your SOUN. I posted earlier this webpage. This is where I go to see the movers, and the shakers. This is the Buffett. Ooh, surf. What the hell is surf? Surface Oncology. This is part of ARCG. Interesting. I'm not going to do this one because my guess is surf. Jim Cramer's on talking about, he's hit oil, he said time to buy the oils about 20% ago. He's talking about Activision Blizzard now. Get ready for a pop down on Activision Blizzard. Initiated, $17 price target, and it's at 99 cents. Shareholders in Surface are in the red if they invested over a year ago. Let's see. Yeah, I don't like this stock. At $1.72, they were selling. They're not selling a lot. These guys are selling 7. These guys are probably just selling to make ends meet. Oh, I got to turn on my do not disturb. Yeah, that AI cloud that AI stuff. God, John, listen. Anything AI, you're making money on, just because. I mean, that's the EV of today. Think about when Tesla came out and everybody started, you put EV in your name and boom, all of a sudden, your stock jumped 50%. You put AI in your name today, and boom, your stock's jumping 60%. JP Morgan is one that came up on the scan. It is run a little bit too much. I don't think it. I think you'd be better off in getting into the weekly stock picks of Goldman Sachs. Nothing in the NASDAQ 100 crossed up. Let's look at the S&P 100, and then we'll look at the energy sector. I'm more convinced about regional banks maybe being a boom. Taiwan Semi is kind of curling over, by the way. Okay. JP Morgan's the only one there. Let's go to the energy sector. Energy, I don't know how energy is being held down the way that it is. DO. Diamond Offshore. This is just so everybody knows, this is the 4-hour algorithm. $10.19. So this is a secondary cross up here. You're up 20% on it just since January 10th. No. I mean, I can bring it up, but let me see. DO. They're not making money. Announces third quarter results. I mean, there's nothing here about DO. Their market cap. They only have 100 million shares floated. I don't like it. Let's see. Let's go NIM. I mean, here's why I think community banks deposits. This is a municipal fund. What does this do? NIM. And then Christian, I'll check out yours too. This is just a bond fund. NIM. Nuveen Select Maturities Municipal is a closed-end fixed income. 3%. Oh, you know what I gotta do? I gotta put in dividends, earnings, current strategy, drawings, splits. I don't want to put in the analyst recommendations. I typically hate municipal bonds, but John, you're a community bank executive and you're trading at 8:54 a.m. That's funny. FRST. And see, banks have just been, I mean, regional banks have been beaten down just because. I mean, who's wanted them? Nobody. I got rid of a whole bunch of things that I wanted to put back in. That's awesome, John. Full disclosure, John, I worked as a product manager for Earthlink for 13 years. And before that, I was with Time Warner Cable, Comcast, Cox Cable, and most of my day was spent trading. I could get my job done in 3 to 4 hours most times with quote-unquote Ritalin-like focus. I never took Ritalin, but Ritalin-like focus, I could get my job done. Rest of the time, trading. I continue to say that I got super, super lucky and that I was able to do those types of things and focus in and make sure that my portfolio was good and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm going to do? Hold on. Let's look at FFIE. And this is what's interesting too. I'm going to run this. So this is FFIE on a 65-minute chart. And we're just going to go per the chart. And this is since we're going to go December 30th. Buying and holding would make you 208%. Using this algorithm would make you 189%. So it's not that as good. Probably because you miss out on some of the up run because it's all been bullish. I mean, let's be honest. This was 29 cents and you're at almost $2. Or I'm sorry, $1.07 right now. In pre-market, it's even better. But if I go and do two charts... why is it doing it like that? Wonder if I can do this. Oh, I guess I can't do the strategy tester in two charts. Oh, that's the one I wanted. This one, two charts. We're just going to go back to one chart. And we're going to do chart. And I'm going to go to... This makes no sense whatsoever, but I guess it's a little wacky. We'll get out of here. Let's see. Apple. I'm going to go down these and look at the algorithm. We're going to go 1,000 candles. You're still in Apple. Apple's still got your confirmation up there above the 9-day. I mean, you got a gap here between 148 and 146 and 147. So I would assume that's where you're pulling back to if you pull back to it, but you're outside the Bollinger Bands. Look at that volume on Friday after the earnings. Whew. Amazon, let's see what they're like. They're down 1%. You've lost your confirmation here. You got your button hook. You covered this. There's a gap up here between 108 and 110. So at some point you get there. This gap between 86 and 87, you're still above your 200-day. Once you break 101, this one comes into play a little. And this is a little different than Apple because you'd still have some... It's way more expensive than Apple. Boeing has broken through, got you out with a 59% gain in the algorithm. Do I see? This gap at 169. I think if you hit 189, I think you start to buy. I think that gap at 169 is in the crosshairs. I think this is what I'll do. I'll go down the Bank of America. I mean, just look at Bank of America. This one, 31. Get you out with a 4% gain. But if you had bought at 31 and you're at 36, you're up almost 20%. Now, I was waiting for this to get under 30. It never got under 30. I missed out on a lot of these. TSN, that's one that I want to look at. Got you out. It's going to be down even more. TSN. TSN in pre-market is trading at $60. So it is down here, which is going to create a rather large gap. And any reaction in the market is an overreaction, although you still have gaps up here at 74. You have a gap up here at 83. I mean, let's just see. TY. Oh, TSN. PE is 7. Forward PE is 9. So it's more expensive going forward than it is right now. Dividend at 3% year to date. You're up 2.8%. You're going to lose that one. Falling meat prices hit profits. They moved this one down to a $60 price target, these guys. And that means that, by the way, it's probably got 50 in the crosshairs. Let's see some insider sales. Option exercise at 42. Sale at 64. None of them huge sales, though. This was March 17th at 86. That was last over $1 million. So he probably knew, hey, it's significant. FFIE, Sherry, I've gone over it. I saw it right here. Right here. FFIE, I was giving you high fives. So I'm got it on my notes too. The problem is, I mean, if I go in here, I just don't know enough about Faraday to know anything about. I know they have a concept model. Mullen's moving too. Mullen is up 6.87%, up 2 cents. And then you have the AI stuff up 30%. I mean, let's see where AI is. AI is at 27, almost 28. And they've got almost 3 million shares pre-market. Let me look at AI to see if there's any insiders that are selling or anything or buying. February 3rd, $30 price target. Nothing significant since 13. And that was in September. I mean, don't get me wrong. These are a lot of freaking money. But the dollar amount is not crazy. The SVP and Chief Financial Officer, I mean, when they're selling at 12 and 19 and 10, he's not selling a lot, though. That's probably just financial maneuvering, if you ask me. February 1st, he sold at $19.95. But he only sold $91,000 worth. That's a typical quarterly move to put in a pool. I mean, honest to God, the guy's probably putting in a pool. Yeah, That's the problem with it. You know, again, when you were a Tesla investor, and you put in a ton of money, they weren't making money, so you were betting on somebody that could have gone bankrupt. And even Elon says, hey, they could have gone bankrupt. God, Goldman Sachs is at 370. That's crazy. Thinking about a couple months ago when we could have bought it at 300. And I was screaming, it's at book value. It's at book value. Buy it at book value at 300. This is my weekly stock picks weekly pick. But again, you're buying at a top. Let's go to our 4 hour. Let's run this. This is what I'm going to do on the podcast. I'm going to say, hey, let's find a 4 hour time frame to get in on Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs on the 4 hour, by the way, you have a deep look of 7,000 candles. 7,000 candles. You have 633 positions. So you trade 633 times over 5 years. So it's not crazy, but 5 years. I think it's probably less than 5 years, because 7,000 candles, that might be about 5 years, because it's 7 candles per day on a 65-minute time frame, and so it's 1,000 days. You have about 250 days, 200 days, trading days, so it might be close to 5 years. 633 positions. Right now, you'd be out. So I'm going to set up an alert. You know what? Indicator. We're going to put an EMA in here. EMA. And we're going to do an 8. And I'm going to do line color. I do orange. Apply. Where is my orange? EMA 8. There we go. Create. Let's get rid of create an alert at this time. I'm going to say breakthrough. $65-minute. Your note. Goldman Sachs, 8, EMA, up, expiration, no, we're not going to put any of these in. I'm going to say touch. There. Okay, I got my alert now. And I'm going to take that, take that, take that, take that. I don't want stochastics. I'm going to move my 8-day out. It's too close to the 9-day. So on the 8-day, well, it's 65-minute chart. The MACD is kind of crossing down. You're kind of high on this one. Would have liked to buy it back here at about 340. That was January 17th, but would have been nice to even buy it here at 366, but not crazy. Okay, I'll put PayPal on there. I don't have much to talk about, so PayPal. We'll put PayPal on. I think their earnings are coming up, aren't they? Yeah, we'll look at the PayPal. Okay, I'm going to start the podcast so I can. Okay. Good morning. It is Monday, February 6th, and I put the wrong date. I changed the date on YouTube Live, but you might see two. Look for the recording date or the time frame that it was on. So where are we? The markets went a little crazy last week. I'm going to look at SPY right here on our algorithm, on our 4-hour algorithm. Since we have two, we have a 65-minute and a 4-hour. On YouTube, you're taking a look at TrendSpider right now. TrendSpider is the platform that I trade on. Over the weekend, I did post on YouTube an hour-long presentation with David Yoakum from TrendSpider on an overview, what you can do, what they recommend, things that blew my mind, like unusual options activity per stock, seasonality we talked about, an EMA, 8-day EMA that cross up on a 65-minute candle algorithm, which has just been blowing my mind, back testing that a little. But as far as SPY goes, where are we? You still have confirmation above this 9-day on a 4-hour chart. If we go to a daily, which is typically what most algorithms look at, you've still got it above that 9-day. You just had a golden cross of the 50-day over the 200-day. The MACD is pretty high. The RSI is at 63. You do have an upward trending volume perspective, and you have a pretty good volume shelf at 400, if not 405. You're at 412. It looks like the market is going to open a little bit down, not significantly down, but you do have options here. And I do think that if you're in this market, you don't get out of this market. The gap here between 403 and 408 has been filled on the way up. The next gap that I see here on the daily is 419 to 421. And that is back from August. And before that, I just don't see a lot of gaps. I don't know that we're going to the January highs from last year of 480. I don't know if that's in the cards because Powell speaks tomorrow. And so what happened Friday was the jobs report was super, super strong. The European Union folks have been saying all weekend, we think that the U.S. is in for the soft landing. Everybody that was predicting a recession and a hard landing, meaning that we would go into a recession in the second half, is now kind of stepping it back a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what Powell says on tomorrow. And all eyes are on that. Make no mistake about it. All eyes are on that one because if he says that, hey, the jobs report was strong and we have to keep it in our eyes, you might see a pullback of this market. If he says something where we'll just take a look at the data, you might see exactly what you saw, which was last week during his speech, where the market took off by 2 and 3%. It'll be interesting because anytime he speaks, people are just looking at it. So I wanted to make sure people know that tomorrow he will be speaking. Today, what we get? We got Tyson Foods. TSN is the symbol. Tyson Foods. And I looked at this one. Now, mind you, Tyson Foods is a shitty food processor. Tyson Foods is a shitty employer. I am not a fan of this stock whatsoever, of the company whatsoever. The stock, I was kind of looking at it, and it's got all of these gaps up here. It's high. It's basically low food prices are cutting into their margins. High cost and they've had to cut their food prices just to keep volumes up. So they're kind of in this realm. They announced 85 cents per share. That's half of what they made last time in November. And even in November, all you saw was it hovering between 60 and 70 for the entire quarter. Well, today it's opening up at about $60 per share. I always say any reaction in the market is an overreaction. I think you could play this between 60 and probably 66, but wait to see what the action is. If we look at our 65-minute time frame, which is day trading on TrendSpider, this is the 60. What you just saw was the 4-hour, which doesn't have you in. The 65-minute doesn't have you in, but it might. And you can see a gap down here between 62 and 62.27 and 62.51. If you're opening down here at 60 and that gap up there is there, you might get a 3% gain because, again, any reaction in the market is an overreaction. I just watch the action first. But Tyson Food is not one that you necessarily want to, trade. It doesn't have a great, trading ability. It's a shitty food company, but they announced earnings. I figured I'd bring it up. Weekly stock picks this week. I was just looking at this one. It is Goldman Sachs. Symbol is GS. And so if I look at it from a 4-hour standpoint, first we'll look at it from the traditional algorithm that I have, that if you sign up for TrendSpider, I give you access to. It is based on a MACD strategy, but you can clearly see here this gap between 366 and 372. It was hit. On the 4-hour, you're in at 351, and you're trading up near 370 right now. That is pretty high. Your RSI is at 63. Your MACD is still moving up. Your volume's kind of trending down. So I'd be a little bit careful of this one. Your volume is trending down. You have a dividend X date of March 1st. If we go to the day trade, remember, this is my weekly stock picks weekly pick. So he typically buys on a Monday and then sells sometime during the week. He has his stop losses in so that if it's down more than, I think, 2 or 3% or 5%, somewhere in that neighborhood, he'll sell out of it. He does have an option strategy as well for the same pick. This one on a 65-minute candle, you can see it's lost its mojo. It got you out with a 1% gain on Friday. You bought in on Friday at 9:30, and you had a 1% gain. It got you out before you got back down to the 365 level where you bought it at. So I would expect this strategy to get you in at some point in time. If you are trading this one on a weekly basis, I would say use the 65-minute candle on the 8-day EMA. If you watch the hour-long video on my thing, you can see on TrendSpider, David goes over how to buy, how to set up your 65-minute algorithm. He gives that one away. My algorithm, I'll give it to you when you sign up using the code DSP25. But Goldman Sachs is the weekly pick. On a personal note, I wanted to bring up, I was reading something about enph, ENPH. This has been a monster stock for, I think, 2022. It was a monster stock. So far in 2023, hasn't been a super monster stock. You've been up a good amount on it. But the 4-hour, let's look at the 4-hour chart so we can see kind of where the trend's going. You can see it turned over here in December. Again, this was a monster stock in 2022. You went from, that's just June. I mean, let's go back to kind of January here. In January, you were down here at 126. You closed the year at 300. So you doubled your money. Now, mind you, Enphase is a solar energy play. It is a company that creates solar panels and other solar infrastructure that goes on to homes. And one of the things that they came out with is a bidirectional charger, and it came out this weekend. That means you can essentially use your EV and charge your home. So say you have solar panels and you have a battery pack, and your battery pack runs out and you want to continue powering your home because you're on an extended time, well, you can go and just plug your home into your EV, and now your car is powering your home. Interesting thing, don't know that it's necessarily going to move the needle. It's for the elite folks who have, Teslas and battery packs and solar. They're becoming less and less elite and more mainstream, but with the Inflation Reduction Act heavily putting money into solar and renewable projects, I would expect that to be part of the, hey, I want to put some stuff on my house and I'm going to get reimbursed by the government for it. So the algorithm does have you buy in here at 215. You're at 222. There's a little bit of button hook on this one. The 50-day is moving down. You did have that death cross here on January 10th. Your RSI is coming from 21. Right now, your RSI is at about 50. It's in no man's land. The MACD is crossing up. Their earnings are coming out this week, February 7th, tomorrow. So it'll be interesting. I think they make that announcement. I kind of liked it. One that we've talked about a lot on here, and when I looked at our pre-market movers on investing.com, it showed up, is Faraday, FFIE. And FFIE, the 4-hour algorithm has you in at 32 cents on January 5th. You've almost 4 times your money to $1.07. You just got your golden cross on February 2nd. So last week you got your golden cross. It's above its 9-day. Does it reclaim $3? It could. I mean, that was just in August. So, I mean, I couldn't find anything out about this company. All they have are renderings. Some people are really believing in it, but it's got some gaps down here, but they're all below the 200-day, and you're above the 200-day. So until it moves down to 57 cents, I don't think these gaps are as big a draw. I don't see a lot of gaps above it from a near-term perspective from last year, from June. But I do see in July, when it popped up to $6.15. So it might be an interesting play. Now, mind you, the RSI is at 69. This is a stock that has seen a bump up in volume here ever since July 6th. It's become a retail trade. So beware of the rug pull, and that could absolutely happen. I am stuck in a natural gas contract with Gas South, and oil has started to move up. You saw a green candle here in the afternoon. It still does not have confirmation. It is still on a downward trend. That 50-day is just moving way too far down. You do have a gap here at about 1289. You've got a gap steps all the way down here, but you have no confirmation above that 9-day. You have a rising volume in this, but most of those are red, and those big ones are red. And we talked about this, that this one probably is going to $2. That's where the trend on the long term was. I think it's on the weekly. I guess I took it off. But yeah, it could absolutely go down to $2 just based on the trend. So KOLD is still your play. If you're in KOLD, I've been saying all of the whole time we've seen KOLD move ever since 1740. I mean, I've been screaming with all these gaps, take your profits, take your profits, take your profits, but you're still above that 9-day. If you got in here at $17 and you're now at $67, be happy. Don't be upset that on Friday it hit 70 and that you didn't sell at 70. The RSI is at 76. I would not buy either one of these stocks, Boiler or KOLD, because you're just praying at that point. You're not playing anything that makes any sense. For the oils, if you wanted to play oil, UCO is a levered oil for crude. This one has no confirmation whatsoever. It's on the downward trend, but oil today is at $80. So this one could move. I think it's between 25 and 30 if oil moves up. Remember, oil is 100% government manipulated. Doesn't matter which government it is, it's 100% government manipulated. And so right now, the one that has the confirmation is SCO, which our algorithm got you in at 23.30, and it's at 27.56 right now. And this one has confirmation. The RSI is super high up at 72. So I would not trade this one. I shouldn't say I would not trade this one. I probably would just wait for a movement on UCO. Do not try and time it. If you're trading it, trade it on smaller candles and try and scalp it. These things move really, really fast. A couple of earnings this week. Disney is having their earnings this week. If you've noticed, Disney has been in an upward trend all the way from 87, which is December 29th, where our algorithm got you in. It's up at 110. You've got a button hook going on here. And their earnings are February 8th, so it's Wednesday. And I think it's post-market, if I'm not mistaken. It's post-market. So I don't know what to expect from Disney. It's the first time that Iger is going to be holding since he's come back. Nobody really knows the plan per se. The 200-day is at 98. So you're well above the 200-day. You have gaps underneath the 200-day. The next gap that you need to fill is 118 to 120, which is above. Your gaps below are all below the 200-day because this one was filled on the way up. So I would say, hey, if you want to buy Disney at 110, even though the RSI is at 65, I don't think it's a bad play. I wouldn't buy 100% of your allotment. So say, for instance, you want to buy $100 of Disney, even though it's 110. I'd put $50 in. I'd probably put $50 in here at 110 because I do think that you have the ability to go back to the 140, 130. Because if we look at the longer term of this and we just look at a weekly and we go back to pre-pandemic, this was a $144 stock. So at 110, you're not crazy buying this. Now, here's the problem. You have a lot of debt with this company, and there is some restructuring that needs to go on. So this one's an interesting one. I'm not personally in this, but it is in our core portfolio, I think. No, I don't have this in the core portfolio. I probably should. This Netflix, Paramount, and Warner Brothers with streamers, probably should have them in there. I've got Apple as part of the streaming. But they're not a huge player in streaming. One that Niche, I hope I'm saying that right, wanted me to look at is PayPal. Their earnings are coming up February 9th. I think it's post-market. They usually do post-market. Yeah, post-market. The RSI is super high, 64. The MACD crossed up. It had a secondary cross up right about here on February 1st when it was selling at 80. The algorithm got you in at 68. There is this gap down here between 71 and 73, which worries me because this one is a huge mover typically on earnings. You can see the earnings on this one. They just kind of moved down and then moved down and then shot up. I mean, essentially, you went from $71 all the way to $91 back in November. Then you slowly slid down to 68, which is the buy that we had. And now you're at 85. I hold this at about $200 per share. I have not played this one correctly. If we go to our 65-minute chart and we run our 65-minute chart on this one to kind of quote-unquote day trade into the earnings, remember 65-minute is 7 candles in a day. So you have quite a lot here up until February 9th. But it got you out with a 3% gain. And you kind of see that button hook a little. So it would really, let me see what they're trading at in pre-market since the market was Friday. PayPal in pre-market is at 83. So it's down slightly. I think you're taking a breather. And I think you could probably cover this gap down to 83 today. I think you probably pull back to this volume shelf. If we pull back our volume shelf to this big gap here that is between 71 and 73, you've got a volume support level at about 80, 81. So as it pulls back to 83, That's where you're seeing a semi-volume shelf right there. But you've got this big volume shelf here, which should provide support. If you get below 76, you're going to 73. So I think that one is an interesting one, to day trade into earnings, because I do think that this one could be a big mover. They could shock. They absolutely could shock. So let's go over some scans. One that showed up on a scan, and again, this is on our 4-hour algorithm. So this is one that you don't need to sit there and look at the charts. You don't need to sit there and watch the stock on a daily, oh my God, I've got to look at it. Remember, it's 2 candles per day on the 4-hour. So SDOW, SDOW, which is an Ultra Pro short Dow 30. So there's only 30 stocks. It shorts 30 stocks. It got you in at 25.21. Let's see where SDOW is in the pre-market. I think it's going to be up. SDOW is at 25.46, and that's where it opened up at. So 25.45 is where it's at right now. 25.21 is where the cross-up happened. You do have this gap that hasn't been filled between 28.41 and 28.60. So you could go up to that kind of. I wouldn't call it out of the question to go up there. I don't think that you're getting to the 200-day, which is at 29, which would be a 20% move. That would be big if the stocks were down that much. But SDOW is one that crossed up. The only other one that I saw that crossed up that is worthwhile bringing up, and I scanned the energy sector, I scanned the S&P 100, I scanned the NASDAQ 100, I scanned the Dow, all 30 stocks, I scanned all of our watch lists, our core portfolio, our energy names, our levered ETFs, our low-cost Vanguard, and our spider sectors. I do all of that. And the only other one that crossed up is JP Morgan. And now JP Morgan is within this ascending triangle. It crossed up. It's a secondary cross-up. It got you in at 139 on January 26th. You're trading at 140. In my mind, this is too expensive for this stock. I think you'll see a pullback here. You've got a gap down here that has been filled, but I think you pull closer back down to 130. I don't think 140 is crazy for this one, because if we look at JP Morgan on the PE level, they're at 11. Their book value is 86. So they're trading well above the book value. They're up 5.21% year to date. They've got a 2.84% dividend, which I don't think is coming up. No, they just passed their dividend ex date. So you don't really have that as a mover. Deutsche Bank downgraded them January 6th to 145. So it's trading right around there. So I don't see a huge upside. I see more downside than upside. When we look at some of the insider sales, you did have a director buy, but he only bought $50,000 worth. I see a large amount of $1 million sales here, January 17th at 140. So I think they're saying, hey, this is a pretty good price at 140. We're not sure if it's going to go higher, but at 140, I'm willing to sell, 10, 15,000. Mind you, these are multi-millionaires who are selling 1 million, 1.6 million. They're basically selling some of their allotment of shares that they probably have at a cost basis of $50, $20, or they might be RSUs, which have just vested at significantly lower prices. So they're doing it in January to probably diversify their portfolio. It's not huge. I don't think it's a knock on the bank, but at 140, I'm probably not putting money in. So there's your, I'm going to keep it nice and short today. Just be careful what you're trading. I mean, we had a great week. Tesla is, let's see, they're up 3% again. If you were one of the few, I was one of the few who bought in on Elon Musk's tweet of 420. The stock at that time was trading, I think I got in, it was at 240. And then when it opened up after halting for news, it went to 380. And I bought in at 380 thinking, $420, that's a nice 10, 15% move. I'll buy in. Elon Musk has done really, really well. Let me buy into this one. So I bought in once it opened up, and he said, well, I'm kind of joking about that one, blah, blah, blah. And it halted multiple times. But it got to 380. Then it halted and went down to 280. Once it kind of came out that he might not have funding, that it was more like a joke kind of thing. But if you held on to that, today that equivalent stock is somewhere near about $1,000. So shareholders made out. The lawsuit was given up. He testified in it that he actually did have funding. He could have gotten funding, blah, blah, blah. He gotten a lot of, but it's up 3%. And if we look at Tesla, you can see you're in at 119 on the algorithm here. Boom, you're crossed the 200-day. This is on the 4-hour. Now, if we go to the daily, I don't think you're above the 200-day on the daily yet. No, the daily's at 230. But this gap right here at 250, that's within range. I don't think that's out of the question. What he's going to do is he's going to announce another price increase on the Model Y. And they're just going to be able to make money. You saw Ford couldn't keep up. They had to reduce the price of their Mach-E, and now they're losing money on the Mach-E. So he's got the auto industry by the balls, I think. One that is coming up, by the way, that is on our core portfolio is Simon Property Group, and it is today after the market closes. SPG is one that I'm a big fan of, and if we go to our 65-minute candle, I'll add in SPG because I do like this one. It's been on a run, and it's done well in the past year, but the 65-minute candle, you're in at 129.81. Just so you know, it's trading at 129, but the 7-minute candle was 129.81. Now, mind you, 7,000 candles. That's about a 5-year on this 65-minute candle algorithm. It makes you 54%. The actual stock loses you 22%. So just know that's 5 years. It's got all of that COVID stuff in there, blah, blah, blah. If we go down to a more shallow chart and we just go back here to December, this makes you 10.5%. The actual stock makes you 10.6%. So it's about the same. You have traded it 27 times. The shallower you get on this, the less likely you are to kind of get these moves, because in a bullish stock, this is going to kind of underperform. And you can see this big move up, it didn't come all the way down. If you came all the way down, this algorithm would actually save you money, but you just didn't come down. You just had these small moves. Right now, you're in at 129.81. The stock is trading at 129. They do have earnings coming up today. A lot of the fourth quarter, Christmas quarter, was iffy. I think they announced a dividend increase. This one has a big dividend. I think it's 5%, somewhere in that neighborhood. 5.55%. They're trading at a 21 PE. Year to date, they're up 10%. Their 52-week high is 149. Again, that's a 52-week high. That's just in the last year. That came in January of last year. Let me just make sure I can look at the date here on Active Trader Pro. The 52-week high was on, February 7th, 1 year ago. It was at 149. So what's changed between 1 year and now? A lot. But most stocks are significantly down from that. You've collected a 5% dividend all along this way. So I do think that 149 is in the crosshairs if they are still a significant business. I mean, a profitable business. You can read some of these things. If we go down here and look at the insiders are buying at 116. They're buying. This is all December 30th. They're buying at 116. These guys are buying. I don't see one sale. So, make your own pick. I like it. I think you could make some money on this pop. SPG. If I were to buy ones, I may buy more. I don't own any. So I may buy based on this 129. Yeah, I like it. If you have any questions, hit me up on the socials. If you made it this far, be sure to just hit the 5 stars. If you're listening on Spotify or on Apple, hit 5 stars. Give me a review. If you're on YouTube, hit the thumbs up if you've made it this far. Just make sure that you subscribe as well. Have the alerts on, since I do come on between 8 and 8:30 every morning. Typically on YouTube, I'm doing a lot more kind of day trader stuff at the beginning of the show. The last portion of the show is mostly my podcast, which is meant for quote-unquote investors, people who are driving to work or from work and want to hear what kind of, take a look at what my performance over the day was. But yeah, just hit the thumbs up. If you're interested in TrendSpider, again, I have that hour-long special on YouTube with David Yoakum from TrendSpider. It goes over everything that TrendSpider offers you. There is a whole lot more. You get to see the 65-minute algorithm being built and being tested, and you get to see my mind blown. I'm customizing that one with some RSI and some other indicators to try and make it a little bit better. But so far, just over the when it crosses up on the 8-day, and when it crosses down on the 8-day, buy and sell. Simple as that. You get to see that. Go and watch that one. I need to put that up as a podcast as well. I just got lazy this weekend. But your boy did finish the week with 56 miles, just so you know. So 56 miles is the one to beat this week. If you've got any questions, join our Facebook group. It is, if you go to the link tree down below, you can just hit the Facebook logo, which is right under my picture. The logo for the podcast, but the Facebook logo is there. The Twitter logo is there. You can follow everything. And if you have any questions you want me to go over a stock, just let me know. Happy trading. Thanks, guys. See ya. Share export song to disk. Export. Okay, let's see. Morning, Dawson. Nishay, I hope it went over PayPal for you well enough. It's risky. It definitely is risky. But God, I like SPG. I'm gonna get my laptop. I might put in a buy for SPG. Eric, nice move on that one. I wish I had played Snowflake just as well. Let's look at Snowflake. Perfect move. This is the 65-minute candle, which is ironic. Got you in at January 31st at 155. This is the 65-minute candle. You want to play on the 65-minute candle. 155.88 right there. Got you out with a 10% gain. That's what, over 3 days? Great move. You're out of it right now. That 50-day is right there. The Golden Cross, you can see how big that Golden Cross move was. Just buy at 138 when it hit that Golden Cross and hold up here to 175 and sell out. Now, the 50 days providing some support today at 157, it looks like. The candle went down to 158.28, and it looks like it bounced off since it's trading at 160. I would say if you get between 157 and 143 in this neighborhood, Eric, I think you could buy back in. Now, if you go to our 4-hour algorithm, which is a much longer kind of quote-unquote term, this is what the 4-hour looks like. The 4-hour still has you in at 135, but I always talk about this button hook up here. And this button hook is clear. The reason it doesn't have you out is because this one has fallen so fast, so fast and so far. This gap up here between 166 and 169 comes back into play. It's using probably the 200-day at 154. If you're going, again, it goes back to my thing. Between 154 and 160, I think you could buy back in because that 50-day is still moving up. Now, you've got earnings coming up March 1st. I think you get a golden cross here. That 50 days moving up towards that 200-day. If you move in that direction, I think you're good. Right now, that MACD is still trending downward on this. If we go to a daily, so we just went from a 65-minute to a 4-hour to a daily. That 200-day is down at 152, so it's much closer, but the 50-day is still moving positive. So, again, I think anything between 150 and 160, I think you start adding to it. I'm a big fan of Snowflake. I hold, I think, at like 180 or so. But, yeah, and ChatGPT, I was using it over the weekend. What did I use it for? I think I used it to write the, let's go to YouTube. If you guys have not watched this, by the way, and by the way, if you have watched it and you haven't signed up for TrendSpider, you're either not trading enough, which again, if you're not trading enough, then I think it's good. But let's go to my channel, your channel. It's this video right here, how to set up TrendSpider, make you a better trader / investor. This video right here, it goes over, myself and David Yoakum go over TrendSpider and how to set it up. And if you use, there's a link down below. I'll show you the link. Right down here. Just go to this link, sign up with code DSP25. You get 25% off. And here's the plans and pricing. It seems expensive, and you need the middle one, Elite Service, to get it's $780 per year. It's $65 per month. 25% off that. Hold on. What's 25% off $780?
It's $585.
$585. So, what's 585 divided by 12?
It's 48.75.
$48 a month for an algorithm that doubles your doubles it. Yeah. Johnny, you using TrendSpider? If you're using TrendSpider and want my algorithm on the 4-hour, all I need is your email address. I'll send that over to make sure you're under my code, and I'll give you my algorithm, the 4-hour one. Alberta. Alberto comes on here and calls me grandpa all the time. And I think I know who Alberto is. But yeah, Snowflake, hopefully, Eric, I gave you enough on Snowflake. By the way, Simon Property Group is down to 128. I'm holding on till we get some. Do you really? Alberto, I'm going to text to see if you are who I think you are. Text me if you are who I think you are. And if you're not who I think you are, you're just named like someone I know. I'm going to move you over to Active Trader Pro, where we're watching Simon Property Group here. And I'm going to move in a little bit. I have to restart Active Trader Pro. Son of a bitch. I have to do this every day. Yeah, AI I thought was moving to 30 today. I think I said that earlier, didn't I, John? AI at 30? Yeah. Or was it Faraday? $27.76, $29.76. Here's the crazy part of AI. I mean, all it is artificial intelligence. Is it? Alberto may not be the person I thought he was, but I'm restarting Active Trader Pro. So this is AI, and let's move to a weekly. So AI, I think they IPO'd last year. Yeah, it doesn't even have a 200-day. But here you're at 150 back in January 2021 when it IPO'd. And this was a crazy one. And it came out and it immediately just dropped. Now, when you look at FinViz, they're not making money. They've got huge short interest. I don't think it's a squeeze. I think it's just best stock to buy Palantir or versus C3 AI stock. Here's why it moved. I mean, go to FinViz and you can read about why this stuff. Here's what I don't want you to do. I don't want you to just invest and not understand this company. The company's not making money. They will not make money. It is 100% just a bet on what they do. You can see, I mean, it's just, look at how much retail. And when you see somebody with that logo, that, Wall Street Bets logo commenting on FinViz, yeah, get ready. Here's the sales. I mean, again, they're selling at like 19 and stuff. So it's small sales. It's not huge. So I'm not too worried about it. But when you have February 3rd, they initiated at $30. I mean, it makes sense that it moved to 30. Look at this is a weekly candle. Look at that weekly candle of volume right there. It's crazy. I'm going to move you back to Active Trader Pro. And we can watch the boring Simon Property Group. I'm going to add those to the list for each day, John. I'm going to add those to my list. Let me add. It is, let's see. We're going to add AI, BBAI, SUOUN. I'm going to add them. I mean, it's a buzzword. It is similar to, like, think about it. Go back and look at Tesla. Go back and look at, what was that? That stock with Trevor Milton. I like SPG into earnings. I do. Alberto. I thought you were my friend Albert. Call me Grandpa. Albert's younger. He does call me Grandpa. I think you messaged me, Alberto, about LSI. I think you messaged me. And thanks for listening, by the way. I appreciate you guys listening. I still don't know why there's not more people listening, but because I do give out good information. And I am not, if you're here for, hey, I want to make $1,000 today and I only have $50 in my bank account, I'm not that guy. Mark is a retail favorite. Be careful with Mark. That was one that was, what was that? Let me see. Trevor Milton. No, Nicola. So Mark is similar to Nicola in that, holy crap. Remember Nicola? Yeah, Nicola pushed the truck downhill. Wow, that was fast. We're going to do a transition. Which one am I going to do? Calm, cheerful. I like Zeppelin. We'll do Zeppelin. Insert ad. I lost $800 last week. Morning, Ed. I am out of my I can't buy China stocks because I sold a bunch of them for tax loss harvesting. But I don't mind China stocks. When I can show you my screen, I'll show you kind of the we're gonna go into let me just do these notes and stuff real quick. Anchor. I think China stocks will probably move a little bit more than the American stocks, but you're going to have a bumpy road. I mean, look at what happened this weekend with that fucking balloon. That balloon was crazy. And that didn't help, Blinken canceled his visit. Let's see. AI, BBAI. Let's see. We're gonna name it. Where did I talk about most? I talked about and it's 2/6/23. The one I can't change, it's funny because I can change, I guess, publish now. I guess I can change the name on YouTube Live, but I can't change the name of my podcast once I share it because it just doesn't let me. Okay, we're gonna copy and Tyson Foods. Nobody's gonna tune. Nobody's following TSN as a symbol. Goldman Sachs. I'm gonna put in all of these fucking high flyers that you guys are mentioning that I didn't cover. SPY, Tesla, Mark. What's another one? SPG I went over. I've got that in there. Let's see. What's an active one? TQQQ. I didn't put that in there. Ford, Apple. We'll put in Ford. And we're just going to tweet that out. You're yellow, Eric. Yellow. Yellow. I should post the... You know what? Copy link. We're going to post it in the Facebook group. Why not? Daily stock picks. Let's see. There we go. Time to bank. Have a great day, John. I got you on my legend list. Okay. And do... Bum, bum, bum. I have 24 new members. I'm going to welcome our new members. I blocked 2 people. 4 people. We've doubled our membership in like a week. Hi, Mr. Squirrel. Okay, let me see. Let me say something really quick. Hi, puppy. Okay. Okay, bought PayPal at 86.70, expecting to go up after earnings. I have to say thanks for the podcast. That's awesome, Nishay. Dude, I love when you guys learn. That's what I want, is you guys to learn. See, I kind of agree with you, Nishay. I kind of agree with you. Here, what was I going to go over? I'm going to go back to Safari. And let's look at NEO. Let's look at the China stop. The best thing you can look at if you want to know the direction of the China stocks is K-Web. So where are we on K-Web? And this is for Ed. I've talked to Ed before. Here's K-Web. And K-Web is ugly on this is the 4-hour algorithm. And so it got you in back here on October 27th. October 27th. It got you in at $19. You just got out with a 73% gain. What do I think of the China stocks? I think this was the run to be in. You're in this ascending triangle, but you've broken it down here. Now, with the algorithm, with the volume slider right here, you've got a clear shelf here at about $30. So if you're thinking of buying any China stock, I'd probably, you can take a look at NEO. We can take a look at NEO right here. NEO's kind of broken down. It got you out with a 4% gain. You could have gotten out up here at 13. This one, I think you're covering this gap down here to about 1038. You've got a volume kind of at $10, if you will. I think that one pops back up to 13 because I don't think that China's going to let this one go down that much more. BABA has just been on a legendary run, but you've got that crossover here. Down at 69, you've doubled your money up here at 120. You're kind of coming down. I think it's again, if you want China, I think you look at the first thing you do if you want to invest in China is look at that K-Web and you look at the trend of the K-Web. It broke that ascending triangle. I think you've got a gap that's going to form here today at about 32 somewhere. I think you wait for it to get back down to 30. And I think if it breaks that 30, what I'm worried about is the China-American. How long before America says no more American companies doing business in China? I mean, seriously, how long before that happens? So, yeah. And let's look at Goldman Sachs. We've talked about Goldman Sachs on the 65-minute because this is the weekly stock pick. And so we've got, a couple more candles down, trending down. Okay. Sold out of Shopify. You're scared. Eric, hold on. Let's look at Shopify. I'm still holding Shopify. I hold it. It's been a monster. I don't think you're crazy for selling it. I'm going to look at a long-term one. Then I'm going to get off here to take out the dogs. No, Penny. I love you. Give me 2 minutes, Penny. No. Here, I'll come back. Let me let the dog out real quick. She's got to poop. I know that. Okay, you got to poop? Do you have to poop? You want to go out and poop? Let's go. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Where am I? Shopify. Eric, this is a 4-hour chart of Shopify. I can see the button hook starting here, and I see a gap below. The only reason I would stay in, I don't know why I would stay in. I don't know why I'm staying in. But if they pre-announce something crazy about earnings, I've been hearing a lot of Shopify ads. So one of two things. They are either having high turnover. That forward PE, man, at 999. That's huge. And Deutsche Bank, DZ Bank, just hold to sell. That was today. Buy and hold. Motley Fool says buy and hold for 5 years. I don't see any insiders selling. There's no insiders selling or buying. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, I don't see any insider buys or anything. Nothing. I don't think you're crazy for selling, but okay. And with that, I am going for my 10-mile walk today. You guys have a great day. Again, watch the video. This one. How does TrendSpider make you a better trader investor? Oh, I have to edit this too. It's Yoakum charting. Why do I misspell it? Let's go to YouTube Studio. I misspelled his name, and he needs to tell me that I misspelled his name. Okay, content. We are going to edit. It's YOC. Yoakum's charting. There we go. I got his link right. Saved. You definitely should watch that one. That's a good video.